welcome to the second review of the evening. Up this time is a game called Rocket Wars. We are specifically reviewing the Nintendo Switch version, and that means over to Galix.
So, as you can see here in the videos, if you're looking at it, this is kind of a competitive asteroids with power-ups and no asteroids. I don't know. It has two control modes, directional turning and tank controls, but either way, there's a separate button for thrust than there is for directions, so either way can be a little bit tricky to steer until you get used to it. Basically, it's you and up to, I believe, only up to 3 friends or bots. I wish I'd had time to play with a friend, but I didn't. In several different modes, there's team modes and individual modes, and there's a deathmatch, which is whoever kills the most enemies. There's survivor, which is everybody has lives, and whoever is the last one surviving. Nuke King, one of the power-ups that you can get in normal play modes is a nuke that basically blows up everything if you're not killed within like 5 seconds. It's a little more than that, but anyway. In Nuke King, whoever is the first one to kill someone else gets the nuke, and then transforms into a bigger, beefier ship while you have it. And then basically when they get killed, the other person becomes the Nuke King, and you have to basically, you get points for being the Nuke King for a while. It's kind of King of the Hillish. You get points for being in the thing, killing other people while you're in the thing, and also for being the Nuke King at the end when the nuke goes off, because in that mode the nuke has a much longer timer. There's a mode called Spaceball, which is not the movie. There are normal power-ups, but in addition to that, there are balls bouncing around that you give your color to by hitting or shooting them. And then you have to get them, then the balls have to hit segments of the opponent's goal, and you have to destroy all the segments. And then there's a free play mode in single player, and in multiplayer mode, there is a team where, I don't know, I think you're like connected or something. I couldn't play that obviously because I couldn't play the team modes. As you play, based on how well you do or whatever, you get experience that unlocks different ships which have different cosmetic designs, although everything is very kind of minimalistic looking in terms of the amount of detail on them. And then each one also increases one attribute of the ship and decreases another attribute. And attributes are things like speed, how much health you have, how fast you can regenerate. Because as you can see if you're looking, the ships are colored in the color of your team, and as they take damage, which is usually a few hits with most of the special weapons, but it can be more with the basic pea shooter. Bits of your color come off, and then before you explode, and if you are in a situation with some of your color off, it'll eventually respawn. Handling and fire rate. So you can kind of tweak your play style, or you can pick one that fits your play style the best. You unlock patterns for them that are entirely cosmetic, and frankly, I can't even see them most of the time, though I have been playing handheld mostly. Your control with the control stick either does tank controls to turn or tries to point you in a direction. There's a button for thrust. There's a button for basic pea shooter, and a different button to use whatever power-up you pick up. The power-ups are, there's a sniper laser that's very powerful, but you are locked in place while you're trying to aim it. There's a long duration laser that you can kind of aim out, but you have to lock onto someone for a while before they destroy. There's a really fast machine gun thing that has a bit of a spread. There's a shotgun. There's a missile launcher that shoots a few homing missiles. And there's each one has like a limited amount of ammo or duration before it just runs out. It's a little bit awkward to me when I have a special weapon and then run out. I have to move to the other button to keep shooting. But on the other hand, that allows you to do things besides use your fucking special weapon, which is a thing that I complain about in other games. So, I'm not going to complain about that here. I don't think I got the optimal experience for this because I couldn't play it with friends, and I think it would be much more fun to play with friends. It's not bad with one or two bots, but it can be a little bit frustrating because you don't have much control over it, and also there's not a ton of depth here, I don't feel like. So, yeah, I guess this game is $10 on the Switch and $8 on other things. Is that right, Adam?
More or less. It's $10 on the Switch. I'm not sure about the other platforms, but on Steam, it is $8.
If you have some friends to play with, I think that's a pretty reasonable price. If it's just for yourself, I would at least wait for a sale. And that depends on how much you feel like playing a kind of top-down space shooter. Oh, also, the battlefield is round and the edges are kind of bouncy. And also, there is a sun of some description in the middle that will, you bounce off of that too, but I think it does damage to you, especially if you're not at full health. The shield you can activate protects you and also allows you to do damage to enemies by contact, but I have a really hard time remembering to use that, so yeah. I don't have a whole lot else about this. It's a very simple game, and I think it's fun, but...
Does it play well in handheld mode, or...?
That's how I've mostly been playing it in tabletop mode, which is similar to handheld.
Mm-hmm.
The things are a little bit small, but the differences in color make it not too hard to keep track of what you're doing.
But, like, the frame rate doesn't drop or anything like that, does it?
No. This game does actually have, well, it says it has HD rumble. What it really has is, like, just rumble, and what it mostly adds up to is when the countdown to the start of the stage, and also when your ship gets blown up, the controller vibrates very strongly.
10 out of 10 implementation of HD rumble there.
I mean, I suppose maybe that is what it feels like to be blown up, but, I don't think there's any, like, feedback for, like, when you're shooting, unfortunately. So, yeah, overall, I had a good enough time with it as something to just do while I'm mostly paying attention to something else, as long as I didn't care how well I was doing, or, like, listening to something else. I didn't really pay much attention to the music. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's about all I got. Does anybody have any other questions?
I don't think so.
I don't think the special weapons are super well. Oh, you turn slower while shooting, which makes sense, and you can actually propel yourself backwards a little bit by shooting, but I feel like the weapons are not super balanced. The shotgun's range is way too short. And certainly computers are way better at using the sniper laser than players are. Or at least that's what it feels like to me.
Okay.
Yeah, overall, yeah, if you have some friends you want to play a fun shooter thingy with, it's not a bad deal. And yeah, I don't think I'd super recommend it for solo play though.
Nah, everything I see in, like, the marketing blurbs on both Nintendo's side and Steam, it's emphasizing multiplayer.
Yeah. Which, again, I'm sorry, but I was not able to connect with my friends in time to actually try it out.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday season, busy. It doesn't have a ton of options, just like a couple of volume things and language. You can adjust the bot difficulty a little.
Okay.
That's about it. Oh, and you can turn the HD rumble off. Yep, that's about all I got.
Okay, then. So that'll about do it for Rocket Wars. Be sure to tune in after the break, as we'll be reviewing 10 Million.